being here and having me. I am absolutely honored to be sharing the stage with these literary legends, and I'm sure they're excited that the guy from Glee is here as well. The book world is so welcoming and inviting, and you guys work together. It's so foreign to me. And I have to thank my awesome publishers, Little Brown, who have been an absolute dream to work with in the process. It's great. Sometimes I'll say to people that are on my team that are not part of the book world, I'll say, wow, they like work with us. It's great. But you can't really say much about your family or your pet cat without someone going, can it be a book? That's fine. Well, the reason that I'm here today is because my first novel, The Land of Stories, Solutions Bell, comes out July 17th. At least I'm still hoping it comes out July 17th. Otherwise, I have a tattoo that needs to be removed. And my story with The Land of Stories is it's something that I wanted to do since I was a wee kid of 10 years old, and have promised myself that I would eventually do it, and finally found a platform to launch a book, and so here I am with Little Brown publishing it. And when I was younger, I was absolutely obsessed with fairy tales, and my mother used to read them to me every night before I would go to bed. And her book that she'd read from was so different from every other treasury of fairy tales I've ever seen, because the pictures inside of it were not illustrations, but photographs of these dolls positioned in various situations of action that the story was telling. And I remember as a 4-year-old looking at that, just thinking it was so accessible, and how I really just wanted to dive into the book and have all these adventures with these fairy tale characters that I grew up loving. And so I think then is when I started kind of planning the book. And then when I was about 10, I decided that I was going to collect all these adventures that I daydreamed about and turn it into a book, because I thought other kids would like to have these adventures as well. My grandmother was my very first editor, and I used to write chapters every day for her, and each chapter was 2 pages long at the time. And I would go to her house, and I would give her a chapter a day, and she'd read it over, she'd grammar correct and get all the spelling errors out. And if she liked it, she'd keep it, but if she didn't like it, she'd throw it away and tell me I could do better. And I'm so glad that she did. I used to bring those chapters to my co-workers at the community theater that I was working at the time. And I would bring them like chapter 1 one night, and then the next night I'd bring them chapter 14. Because I was a kid, I didn't need to bother with, consistency or anything like that. And they used to say, Chris, where's chapter 2 through 12? And I'd say, well, I just didn't get to it yet. So they were the first people to ever get any kind of a copy of The Land of Stories. So I wonder if they're excited as much as I am now. It's really strange because I am from the Hollywood world, and usually Hollywood has a very big imagination when it comes to actors. Unless you try to venture out into another venue, then they kind of look at you very strangely. Everyone kind of expects me to do some kind of form of glee with everything that I do in the future. And these next questions I'm going to read are actual questions that I have been asked on red carpets by reporters and journalists who think it's kind of strange that I'm doing a book instead of, like, per se, an album or a movie or something. So I'd like to share this with you now. First one. Chris, tell us about your book. Will there be singing and dancing in it? No. That would be kind of hard. Unless every page was like a Hallmark, card or it's saying, but no singing and dancing in the book. And what's it about then? Well, it's about 2 twins, Connor and Alex, who fall into a magical book and end up in the fairy tale world, and they have all these adventures with the fairy tale characters they grew up reading about. Is it autobiographical? No. I am one person. I did not fall into a magical book and have adventures in another dimension. I would like to, but that did not